Every day when you wake up, you probably do the same thing as any other day. Toss and turn before finally deciding to get up, and then immediately head to the bathroom and wonder why you feel like shit after even though you probably ordered a whole pizza, ate that, and then went to bed. Nah, no, I'm airing myself a bit. That's what I do. But isn't it tiring to constantly wake up and do the same things every day? Like, I swear, I'll go to work, but then immediately think about all the YouTube ideas I have or how much I want to be anywhere else. But, I work. And a thing I like to overthink about after many long shifts at Chipotle is the fact that we live in these cycles that we do not enjoy at all. And yet, we often feel forced to study late or wake up extra early to go to the gym and, get those extra pumps in. But why is it so hard to do the things you actually want to do? Well, first off, we actually don't want to do any of it really, let's be honest. And what I mean by that is putting in the work means you have to get out of the comfort of your own bed and finally get your lazy ass up to touch some grass. A lot of you guys don't touch grass, and for a while I wasn't doing that either. Social media has given us this illusion that if we want to do something, we can't because everyone else is probably already ahead of us. However, that's not entirely the truth. You see, there's successful people everywhere online, but what we don't see is the long hours they take and the stressful nights that comes with it. We think that, yeah, I could do that, and that's the moment we set ourselves up for failure. Now, how do we circumvent this from happening? Well, first we gotta understand, cycles. For example, the cycle of social media and how it sets unrealistic expectations. Those cycles keep us stuck, worrying about what if, and instead we need to understand why we are feeling stuck so that we can break it. I want to talk about the pros and cons of these cycles now. You see, pros, they give you that schedule, that nice day-to-day, that set, okay, this is what I do. I wake up and I brush my teeth and I eat breakfast and then I go out to work. What else do they give us? It's easy, it's predictable, it's consistent, necessary. That's what I like to think. You like to just wake up, don't even think about it. And there are good cycles. Now on the flip side, we got the bad ones. We got cycles that give us that complacency when we get home from work and immediately just go smoke or go just eat or just go sleep. Honestly, there's some people who need that rest, so they just on that wake up and go to sleep grind set, and they get really tired. So if you're one of those people, man, you probably feel complacent, probably feel stuck and hopeless. That hopelessness, that fear that you'll never improve, that fear that you might not change and that you're gonna be stuck, you're gonna be lost, and you lose that predictability that the goodness of a cycle is. You see, but being aware of your cycles doesn't even change anything until you break it. Now, what does that even mean? Just because you know what you have to do doesn't mean you will stick to it, really. You see, I struggle a lot with taking the next step in whatever I'm doing. And that's really because I am entrenched in that cycle. That cycle of sitting before a YouTube video and wondering, what type of content will I make? What am I even going to speak about? Do I need a script? Do I need editing? What do I need? But hold on, that's not really it. The whole point. Realizing that just because you are aware of the issue, that doesn't even mean you will take the necessary steps to resolve it. Like I said, I'm having these thoughts and I struggle a lot, you see. I struggle a lot because I think I know what I'm supposed to do, when in reality, what I'm supposed to do is just wing it. Just see what happens, turn on the computer, turn on the mic, and just start yapping and see what words flow out. So how do you even walk that path? How do you stay committed to breaking a cycle? Well, it's simple. You gotta fuck up a lot. You have to go against every fiber of your body telling you to stop, because that's when the change occurs. Doing something you never do, to consistently doing it, takes a lot of effort. If you were never ever meant to be a garbage man, and yet when you're older, you go up and you're like, man, I need a job, and the only job's a garbage man. You gotta suck up that stank of the trash. You gotta put a mask on. You gotta do things you never thought you would ever do, because you need that money. You need to improve. You need to put that work in. And even in the beginning, you won't even want to do that. You won't even want to take the effort. You won't want to put in the effort. It looks like a long road, and this is where many people stop. Why? Because to them, the effort outweighs the reward at the end. The path takes too long, but it will take longer if you never even take that first step. This is where making mistakes come into play. Let's say your cycle is not even being able to go to the gym. Let's say you struggle a lot with waking up and getting that motivation to even drive to the gym. Well, the first problem is that you probably don't even want to go, but you recognize that you need to. You see your body, you recognize your health. You're like, man, I'm not doing too good. Man, I'm not happy with how I look. Man, I'm not happy with how I feel. How do I change that? That first day may seem the most important, but really, it's not even. The most important thing after you go to that gym that first day is that tomorrow when you wake up, you go again. Why? Well, where motivation may lag, momentum thrives. It's all about being consistent, The more you do something, the better you get. Now, another important part is that you will fail. You will fuck up, One day you will wake up and that bed will be calling you. That bed will be so comfortable. You'll be laying there like, ooh. You pull up the sheets, man. The fan is blowing just right. And you're just sitting there. You're like, man, I don't want to go today. I just don't. That's okay if you don't want to. If you don't want to go, that's fine. Because we all get tired. But be careful, because missing that one day can easily turn to missing a whole month very quickly. I fell for the same trap too when I went to the gym. I went for the first couple days, and I didn't go for a week, and 2 weeks, and I went again, and I didn't go for a month, 2 months, 3 months, went again. It piles up very quickly, man. You see how momentum can work in both ways, positive and negative? It's key that when you are down, you gather yourself, yes, but you need to get back up as soon as you can, because the difference between a fighter and a champion is that no matter what happens, in that champion's mind, they're gonna get back up and win no matter what. Now, dear, you might say, this is good and all, but all you're doing is really yapping. What steps should I even take to change? Well, dear viewer, thanks for asking. Here are my 5 steps to break any cycle you're currently facing at the moment. Totally proven and tested, by the way. Alright, number 1, you gotta learn to identify it. What has been bothering you? Are you happy with the way things are going? What would you like to change about it? So, when you're sitting there thinking, man, I'm not going to the gym enough. What's bothering me about it, man? I'm not happy with being fat. Not happy with being weak. But are you happy with the way things are going right now in your life? No, man. I'm trying to go run with the huzz, man, and I'm struggling. I'm breathing. I'm panting. Oh, I don't like it. And what I want to change, man, I just want to be a little healthier. All right. That's your goal. That's your thesis right there. Whenever you're writing that little essay, what does the professor say? You need that thesis. That's your thesis. Step 2. You gotta fight your way out of your own head. You gotta make mistakes, but learn from them mistakes. What triggers you? And what leads to you always resorting to that cycle? Whenever you're trying to get ready for the gym, what thoughts always pop in? What doubts always come in? That you're not enough? Or that you're too weak? Maybe that you're just wasting your time and other people are way ahead of you, so there's no point in trying. Does that trigger you? Does that make you decide, you know what? No, I'm done. Or maybe it's hearing your friends talk about how they just hit their new PR and you're comparing yourself and saying, why can't I do that? Why can't I be that good? Maybe that triggers you. Or maybe it's food. Maybe you're about to get ready for the gym and then you eat a triple stack of pancakes. Now you're feeling fat. Now you're feeling like, hey man, like kind of just like, what's the point of going to the gym right now? Like, just took so many calories right now that no matter how much work I put in, it just won't burn it. That's fighting out of your head. That's choosing which dialogue to listen to. Should you listen to that positive side, the one that's telling you, hey man, I know you're struggling right now. You're not really getting the best effort you want to do, but look at the progress you're making. Last week, you didn't even think about any of this. You weren't even trying. Now, at least today, you might have not went today, but you put on your clothes, you're wearing them, and maybe something popped up, but that's an inch closer than you were last week. Step number 3. In that moment, you gotta be aware. So if you want to stop smoking, for example, you have to consciously put the vape down. You gotta be like, man, I know this high will make me feel good for a bit, but all these recent highs, man, it's just like, just been getting worse and worse and worse. And recently, man, I've just been feeling down, you know? Anytime I've been using it, it's just like I feel worse than I am without it. Maybe that's your sign to put the vape down, maybe. Reassess your situation, reorientate. Maybe in the morning before your gym, you're having second thoughts. That's okay. You're still gonna go because doubt is normal. You realize now that maybe that other week when you didn't go, when you put on them clothes, you struggled with that. But now this week, you're wearing the clothes and you're in the car, but you're still having that negative thoughts, a negative feeling. You're still thinking, man, I don't know, man. I'm gonna go to the gym, make a fool out of myself. I'll be hitting the Planet Fitness type of exercises. You'll be good. There's a reason why people are hitting the Planet Fitness exercises. They don't care. They don't care that you're recording them. Maybe they do a little bit, but they don't really care. That's why they're doing them crazy ass moves. And then step number 4, the moment of truth, when you break it. See, this is the moment you finally decide to change. It's usually a buildup of emotion, but also the work you've slowly been putting in. Like I said, that other week, you were in the car. You were at the gym. You were feeling negative. But now, when you're going to the gym, you're not having those negative thoughts. You're getting into the rhythm. You're starting to finally, you know what, not even have those thoughts in the morning. Maybe they're not as loud this time. Maybe this could be you going a month sober. You know, you decided to put the pen down that one day. And since that day, for some reason, he just hasn't been calling you, you know? Every other time you try to quit, it's like a nagging feeling. But now, like, it's like something just clicked. Maybe you don't need it. Maybe everything will be okay. Who knows? Just keep doing what you've been doing, you know? And then number 5, the final step, and probably one of the most important ones, I'd say. Got to make a new cycle to get stuck in. Whoa, dear, hold on. I thought this whole video was how to break any cycle. I thought we wanted to break the cycles. I didn't think we wanted to make a new one. Slow your roll there, partner. Slow your roll. Cycles are very important for 2 reasons. Well, I don't know why I put 2 reasons. I don't have any 2 reasons, but a main reason. The main reason is cycles are things you don't have to think about. They're things you do daily, things you do naturally. What are some regular cycles that you don't even think about? Going to eat. You usually go eat around the same time. Probably use the bathroom around the same time. Probably shower around the same time. When you were younger, did you struggle with these? I know some people who weren't potty trained. I know some people who struggled with their hygiene, you know? Who didn't want to shower because their parents were being too much of a dickhead. You know, it's just like these cycles back then you struggled with. Now you don't really think about them no more. You don't think about these cycles of hygiene. You don't think these cycles of socialization. Maybe back then you sucked at talking to people. Now you get in the rhythm. You understand how a conversation flows. But you don't worry about that doubt. That doubt isn't in your head no more. That's why you got to make the new cycle. Whatever that old cycle was, you got to replace it. You know, there's a void still there. That void isn't gone. So, cycles are necessary. And this cycle is a positive one that you know you can handle. So everything will be okay. Alright, y'all. Those are some 5 steps I threw out there. They're pretty interesting, I'd say. You know what? Let me know what you guys think. We talked about how good cycles can be, but also how negative they really impact us. I showed you guys some steps that I maybe use, and maybe this does help you guys. Maybe today after this, you're like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. Or maybe you don't. Maybe after this video, you're just like, just another video. Whatever. Go on to the next. Hopefully, this can at least sit with you for a little bit. Maybe back of your head, in that moment, I believe in you guys. I believe you guys can change. Because I changed. I'm changing. Changing is necessary. We all change. Nothing will stay the same ever. And if they do, I don't know if it's something you should associate with, personally. Anyways, y'all, this is Dia. Let me know if you guys enjoy this style of content. I'm really having fun now. I know I've been lagging with the uploads. I'm getting busy. I'm sorry, y'all. But I'm starting to understand the YouTube process more. I wrote a little script for this video. Next video, y'all, I might start my versus the World Series. Let me know down below any cycles y'all are down and in the dumps with. Any cycles that maybe you're struggling with. I might have an insight for y'all. You know what? Let's just start a discussion down below. But anyways, y'all, I'm hoping, first of all, y'all just having a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is for y'all. I love you guys. You guys are crucial. Because without you guys, I wouldn't be here. And I'm filled with joy just being here and talking. So yeah, guys, if you enjoy the apps, thank you. This is Dia. And I'm hoping y'all have a good one. Alright, y'all. Stay safe out there. With love and peace.